how sharings. I'm using this new tool called. Hey guys, I'm using a new tool called Sidekick. I was about to tell Joe. It's a thing that it's like a browser where you pull all of your web apps into the same place. So Telegram, Discord, Twitter, blah blah blah, all in one place. But I haven't tried sharing screen with it yet. So it's a massive reduction in memory and CPU usage, though. So it's awesome. Let me see what happens if I try to share a screen.
You need that with all that Apple gear over there.
Would you shut the fuck up with that shit? What the fuck? Joe, what's going on, man? Oh, real quick, let me tell everybody that I may be dropping away. I'm going to go help a gentleman here that's helping me with some stuff in the house. And so when he is ready for me, I may have to drop to do that. So Joe will be all by himself. I'm sorry to do that to you guys, but you know, sometimes we just got to. And you know, Joe wants to spread his wings a little bit.
Yeah, and you want to. Never mind. Never mind.
Let's see here. Let me see if sharing's going to work real quick. Something. What can I share?
Nice moves going on, right?
Tell me. Talk to me. Keep talking while I'm doing this, please.
You know, everything looks like it's up 5-6% the last hour. So things look to be, you know, ETH is back up to 3,250, BTC 4,300, 43,000. So I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Beautiful.
I think it's kind of interesting. I mean, a couple of things I noticed when I was looking, and I sent a few links, I think, your way. So let me pull that up while you do your thing.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. Oh, hey, everybody. Speaking of which, MissionDefi.com has been major league revamped. We actually have a website up. You can go there and play all the episodes, all the videos, all the episodes of DeFi Lunch and Mission DeFi that have a video attached to them. Will also have video or audio, so you can play. You can, as I start adding categories to them, you'll be able to, if you're just a DeFi Lunch fan, there's going to be a menu item for just DeFi Lunch. If you're a Mission DeFi fan or you want to see a stream of both, you'll be able to do that. I'm putting in categories for every one of the shows. So there'll be a whole category search capability. You can search for episodes. And I got a bunch of different podcast app subscription buttons in the display here. But you have an audio player and you have the video player. So, you know, good stuff. Full-blown website. We have a blog there. Joe, I need your bio and photo, by the way, for the team hosts section of the website, please.
Okay, I'll copy my avatar and send it to you.
What the fuck is that? On another note, I had a really interesting interview the other night. Project that's an own fork called Eureka. And I will be just very frank and tell you that I thought it was a total scam. And so I was just kind of curious where the interview was going to go. And I went into it because they're doing this massive airdrop, but there is no token sale. So they are like airdropping geographically around the world. They found when they first launched the airdrop that Indonesia and someplace else were like swarming in. And so they started doing it geographically. Anyway, had this really cool automated Telegram thing that allowed you to do the airdrop. You know, it was cool. I was excited about the interview because there's not much happening there. You see, there's not much locked yet, etc. The reason for that is they're still revamping the way the APY algorithm functions. They wanted to get the airdrop started, but they're taking an incredibly conservative approach to emissions and to what he defines as relative versus absolute APY. And when I get the episode posted up, you guys can hear the longer explanation, but it's relative to how many tokens are actually out there versus what's being emitted. And so they're going to update it so that their emissions actual show what your true value is, as opposed to perceived value that we get from a lot of rebase projects. The other, he's going to start with very conservative APYs relative to others. So you're not going to see 150,000%. I will tell you this, this could still be a total scam, and maybe it'll be a rug pull later when the bonding starts. They haven't started any of that yet, but Alex, the founder, has been in. He gave me a detailed history of his experience in centralized exchange trading. He's been a market maker, an approved market maker at Binance for years, right? So he's been dealing with large quantities of funds, and evidently had already a team of developers that he brought to this project. So the interesting thing is the Treasury is going to invest in liquidity providing and market making, both in DeFi, but also in centralized exchanges via APYs. And they're also going to back market makers from the Treasury. So it's a really interesting model. He has full algorithms and tools that he uses to be profitable at market making on the centralized exchanges. And he's got concepts and algos for DeFi. But I actually finished the interview saying, wow, this is pretty cool, right? I'm pretty impressed with this guy, and I'm pretty impressed with the model and their approach. Very conservative approach. He's not even going to have everything rolling with the market making capabilities and everything else for 9 months to a year. He's just kind of building this thing little by little, step by step. He's airdropping the tokens. He wants a mass distribution all the way around the world. So, I took some tokens in the airdrop, and then I created a new wallet for it so that I didn't risk my other wallets. And I actually put a couple of little bucks more into it yesterday, and I'm currently staking, but the APY is showing really small because they're still working on the API. But impressive interview. I'm actually pretty impressed with this project so far. It's not something for the We're Forked Fund because they're not ramping up that rapidly, but I was still shocked to find kind of the level of professionalism in the project that I hadn't expected. So,
well, it seems to me like the key is if you do that initial liquidity event at a level high enough where you can execute something into market, that's the preferred play versus doing a continuous series of raises.
Yep.
Because that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Is capital event. So it sounds like they have the right strategy. Now, what is Eureka? I'm trying to UREKA.
UREKA dot finance, I think. UREKA dot finance. Yeah. Okay. Why do I have?
I got it. Okay. But the interesting thing that there is a token out there.
Oh yeah, no, the token's already being airdropped. And like you can buy it on it's Binance Smart Chain, and you can buy it on PancakeSwap. And it's dirt cheap, right? And I'm assuming that a lot of the people getting the airdrop are dumping it. But the nice thing is the price is so small, most people won't. But I'm going to hang on to it and just see what happens with it, And like I said, I bought, a bit more, small amount more. But like I said, I was just thoroughly impressed with the founder during the course of the interview.
So how much of that $3,295 in total value lock is yours?
Probably about
half,
78 cents. No. Like I said, the price is so cheap right now. You can stack.
No, that's what I'm looking at. The total supply is not out of control either. It's only 10 million.
10 million is the whole airdrop. Now he's, like I said, he's being very measured and very I mean, I've met smart founders who are trying to be strategic. I think Zeus is. I think Scoopy Trooples is. I think a lot of others are. But first of all, basically it sounds like he doesn't need the money. He just wants to play with this. And he considers this kind of a big experiment, but he thinks there's a better way to do rebasing. And he also thinks he has the expertise and knowledge and team to turn the Treasury into a much bigger play for than what the treasuries are, just kind of holding assets, right? He wants it to be actively investing in market making, liquidity providing, and other strategies. So
is the premise that you airdrop tokens in rather than rebasing tokens?
No, that's the airdrop is just to get, he wants a mass distribution of the tokens in, thousands of wallets all over the world. So he wants a base of users where there's not like somebody that owns 40% of the current supply, right? So he's completely distributing 10 million tokens for free to people all over the world. And then they'll spin up the full-blown platform.
No, it looks interesting. I mean, that's what I like. Another kind of innovation here.
Yeah.
Because just seeing airdrop in there made me start thinking that, the thing about the rebase plays is that there is so much massive dilution in there.
Oh yeah.
That
and that's his whole point.
Yeah. And so here you see someone trying to like innovate on this, where, we talked a little bit yesterday about how, how Olympus and Elk and some of these other ones all came out of the desire to curtail impermanent loss in yield farming.
Yep.
And, now you've got these whole other ecosystems going.
Yep.
So I'd be curious to see now that people start thinking about airdrop versus rebate and yield and all of that, how that can be used in ways that, to existing holders in ways that achieve some of the similar objectives, which is, you don't want people dumping.
Exactly.
You want people holding. So maybe when you're holding, like maybe when you bond, if you go for a 30-day bonding period versus 5, maybe there's an airdrop of something there.
Yeah.
And you get those interest rates, like you said, in reasonable areas. Now this is still 2,500%. So, hey, we're at T-bill grade. Basically, it's 2,500. So it's not like, it's not like you're going into a bond.
No, exactly. And so here's what's interesting. See, he's already added the relative annualized percentage yield versus that. He's already starting to build out what he talked to me yesterday. Yesterday, that RAPY, that relative APY, was not even in the equation, right? It wasn't in the interface. So, and I told him on a couple of things on the call to start explaining to people better how it functions, what they're doing, et cetera. But, I really kind of like the approach and philosophy. I think this is one of those things you kind of stake it in there and you forget about it, right? And you see every now and then how they're doing and just let it run up and see what happens.
Well, yeah. And also the market cap is incredibly low. The supply is low. The price is low.
Yep.
TVL, I'm going to say it's low. It doesn't mean it's not going to go up, but
it's very low right now.
But you're not at a point where all of a sudden everybody that bought at 4 and IDO'd at 70 is dumping.
Exactly.
This is one where people aren't going to dump for a while, and the index is only 1.07. So, I was thinking that it would be, that these are all evolutions of this model into something that, creates that end game strategy we talk about a lot, like what happens at the end of these, legal Ponzonomics plays. In a sense, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I just mean it, and that's the terminology that everybody uses.
Right.
And, to me, this is one that's interesting because I am curious to see how that does affect things. How do you do that to create participant behavior? You remember the first ones were all about whether people were just going to buy it on the market or mint it or bond it. Yeah. And that was it. And so that had that one nice mechanism that would channel investor sentiment in the right areas to stabilize the price.
Yeah.
Well, then, then we got into all the whale dumping issues. And so you got into more different ways of vaulting and different things. And now, we see now an airdrop thing that people are going to try to sort out. We still see other groups trying to sort out the lending piece, like Snowbank. You've got the other ones doing the GameFi piece, the NFT piece. This to me is, like you said, where does it go? Where does it go after it figures out the finance piece?
Right.
So
well, and I think he's kind of approaching it from, I'm going to be as flexible as possible, and we're going to treat this as an experiment as we go, and so we'll do what we got to do. So,
well, and also it might be, look, this. If you're staking a claim as the sustainable real yield cross-chain reserve currency, you are going up against, everybody else that's going for that role.
Yeah.
MIM is one that stands out there to me right away. Even like UST is almost doing something like that, with cross-chain type, I guess, pricing or Oracle mechanics and things like that. It's pretty interesting. Yeah, this is definitely one we want to watch. And how did you find out about this?
Somebody messaged me. Somebody messaged me about the airdrop, and that's where I found it. So I went and checked it out. They had a really cool Telegram bot that enables all the automation of the airdrop and everything. So I was fascinated with that. So and then I just messaged him on Twitter and said, "Hey, what's up?" So let me share again. We've got where'd it go?
Yeah, you saw that one I sent you, how CZ's now worth like 96 billion or something.
Crazy. Yeah, I also wrote that one up in a second. Real quick, I wanted to update the Andre Cawley. Why is it not sharing? Oh, fuck me. Seriously? All right, I'm going to load. Share screen, window, share. Oh, fuck me. Andre Cawley is getting prepped to launch his new project, the Curve Killer, I guess we could call it. I don't know how it's going to approach. It is definitely launching on Phantom. So he tweeted about it earlier today that he's launching it on Phantom. And he did another Medium post about how the fees will work. And if everybody remembers, this is the one where he's starting off with, I think, the top 20 in TVL projects. And I'm out of focus.
Are you trying to share a screen just out of curiosity or no?
Oh, no. Yes, I am, but it didn't work.
All right.
Fuck me.
I was just seeing your blurry face. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, why am I? What the hell? This is a brand new camera. It's really pissing me off.
Dad, I don't. You gotta upgrade.
Don't start. Don't start. Don't fucking start. Do not fucking start.
Amazon's got everything. In fact, I could send you a list of links and stuff that might help you out. Why don't you
shut the fuck up?
Yeah, it only took you about like 8 times sending that link before I finally clicked the damn thing. Everybody wonders why email doesn't work anymore.
There
you know what seems pretty effective?
Now I'm pretty. Now
you got
I'm
it?
pretty.
Yeah, look at you. Look at you.
So pretty.
Is it raining out there?
No, man.
Looks like it's getting ready to rain. Right?
Anyway, Andre V33, he's got another post up. I can't share it with you. I'm going to have to restart. So not restart my whole computer, just come back into the combo. So Joe, you're on for a second.
With what?
You gotta,
okay.
You got to take the helm. Share a screen.
All right. So
do something. Did you ever finish signing up as an admin for StreamYard? Oh, dude, seriously.
Yeah, I think click the issue was, I'll do that today. I promise. I was just, you know me. Share screen.
Share your Binance article, and then we'll go into Andre a little more, and then. Okay, it's enabled, and I got to restart. I'll be right back, Joe.
Okay. I presume this. I don't see the screen, so I'm guessing it's shared. No, just a quick highlight on CZ. Now worth looks like $96 billion. The Binance CEO. So good luck catching him now. I mean, now he's got, kind of, as I call it, fuck you money, and can do just about anything he wants. But, that's a big thing. We're all Binance fans. The other thing I thought was interesting out there was, what was the other piece that I shared with him? Was this one? I thought this was about Klima. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through a paywall here on this, but.
You're not sure. Oh, I see. Because you're not an admin, you couldn't add it to the screen, Joe.
Oh, yeah. I sort of suspected I was, since I saw a nice full screen picture of myself.
If you weren't, I was like, yeah.
No, I just talked about CZ and how he hit like 96 billion.
96 fucking billion.
And yeah.
From McDonald's to that. He was working at McDonald's,
Yeah.
Mickey D's. Heard about crypto in a poker game and dove all in. Nah, he was doing other shit too. He was working at a merchant bank and all kinds of stuff, but still.
He was a janitor or something, wasn't he? He wasn't doing much.
No, he worked at McDonald's, but then he actually worked, I think Goldman or somebody for a while. And he was writing software for another. That was it. He was working for another big crypto exchange, writing software for him. And he didn't like the people that ran it and their approach to their employees and to the customers. And so he said, fuck it. And I'm going to start my own. And I think that's the kind of origin story of Binance was born. Are you like on a little tiny iPad? What the fuck is this screen?
No, this is my Telegram screen in there. I was just curious what else I had. That's I was going to talk about that. I figured you had a lot of witty and engaging banner for today that I can tweet off of.
In other words, you didn't
I'm
prepare
better
either.
Well, I was too busy going through the investment docs, so I thought that was important.
Okay, yeah. So let's do a quick update. Had a great call last night with I always forget how to pronounce his Anon name. Hold on, please hold. Let me get it because I don't want to screw him up. And he's working his ass off to help everybody get going on the investment club. So zero goes, maybe ZROWGZ. I should probably ask him how the fuck
Zero
to pronounce
grows.
that. Yeah, man.
No, I remember him. Yeah.
Anyway, he's actually building out the smart contracts to automate the voting, getting everything in place. He's talking to Dennis and Bertram today from Vote with Tally, who I also spoke with about this, seeing how much we can automate going in. Out of the gate, you and I are going to have to manage moving the funds in and out, but we are going to have get forked ENS. We're going to have forked token that will represent everybody's ownership. They'll send it in. They'll get back the tokens to represent their ownership for redemptions, et cetera, in the club. So all of the pieces are coming together. I'm hoping that we will be signing off on the investment club agreement in the next 24 hours. And then we will begin voting on the projects to get into. Everybody that's part of the club, please make sure you check in on the We're Forked channels in Discord, in the Discord server. I've posted a bunch of materials. Other people have posted their links to projects they think are worthy or might be interesting. So we need everybody engaged there and talking about projects they think we should do. Joe, I was actually thinking we may start off with a smaller number than our original 30. That may have been a bit aggressive, but we'll let the community vote on that as well. But anyway,
no, I agree with that. I sort of was thinking through those strategies myself. And look, there's ways where you could say like the strategy is, okay, 25% goes into the top 10 on the, FOMO sheet or whatever, or these 10.
Right.
The second and 25% goes into second 10, or there's ways that we can allocate it in different ways, or say, hey, it all goes into the top 30 and here's the top 30.
Right.
And any new project later on is part of the process where when you vote on a new project, out of proceeds. And other rules could be things like, we go with, X percentage of the funds into the first tranche into all of these plays and leave, X percentage in reserve. And maybe that percentage number is what's voted on.
Right.
It could be 33, 50, 75. Then you say things like, okay, well, the stake in any one of them goes up 100%. We sell X percentage. Is that 10? Is that 20? Is that 25? Whatever. Or it goes up, 500%. We sell X percentage. And then what do we do with that when that's sold? Then that's kind of the stable coin pool that gets, whatever was held back from the first investments and not follow-on invested, it basically gets added back into that pool. And then we say, oh, here's a new one. Let's get in there into the channel and vote on, should we do this one?
Right.
And, we've already got at that point, our sort of protocols lined up, which then we kind of know because of the first vote, what everybody's comfortable with. Is it 50% for a first investment, or is it 35 or 25%?
Right.
And then 75% in reserve for that one particular play. And so we have those rules in place. And, then the execution is simple. Even if we have to do it manually at the beginning, we know when that price on, Klima goes up 500%, we're selling 25% of it.
Exactly.
So it's just a matter of staying on top of all that. And that can be something, we also have other channels open, which is just, the fork watch or whatever, which is just, people looking at the pricing alerts. So we know which ones are getting close to those territories, and get more community involvement. I mean, that's just sort of what I was thinking, but
totally agree. I think we'll get there with that. That's great. Okay, so this is the other article on fees. I actually have not gone all the way through it, but I'm excited he's launching on Phantom. Obviously, that's his chain. And I'm also excited about the model. So I'm going to read through this stuff when I get a chance. I just haven't had time to go through it, but there's 2 parts in Medium. AndreCronier.medium.com is his Medium channel. But looks like I have a feeling this thing's going to blow the fuck up. So it would be my guess because, universally, Andre Cronje is worshipped as a fucking DeFi OG. He has brilliantly produced a lot of really cool shit. And he's somebody you can trust. So I'm definitely diving headfirst in any way I can into this fucking thing.
So. Yeah. No, he's got star appeal. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And he doesn't build shit. I mean, he does good stuff. So what do you got? Your Turkish spa going on over there? They beating you with the sticks or something?
That's the guy with the drill installing the new microwave.
There you go.
The under. Yeah.
You got to be able to get those hot pockets out of there without getting out of the chair.
Exactly.
Right?
Fucking right. That's right.
No, but back to, we all love Curve, but just the amount of assets under there. And when you think of like Sushi with the amount of assets they have and everybody else to play on this time and all of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 40-50 billion dollars in TVL there.
Yeah.
That's somehow going to combine into some kind of DeFi juggernaut. So it's definitely something you want to be paying attention to. We will definitely be paying attention to it for you.
Speaking of the Curve convex stuff, the wars, Zero Grows or Zero. I got to really fucking ask him. I wish if he was listening. I think he had a meeting today. He is going to come on the show tomorrow and give us all a tutorial. Not only is he like coding, writing documents, working on other DAOs, helping us get the investment club up and running. He's also done an analysis of the whole Curve thing. And he has some concerns about a couple of things, and he also has some really cool insights. So he's done a full document on it. He's going to come on tomorrow and give us all an explainer tutorial, thing. So that's exciting too.
No, that is perfect because that's something that, it's the cutting edge right now.
Exactly. So. Exactly. No, totally agree. Okay, what else? Where's the rest of my links? Okie dokie pokey. Okay, so we did CZ. Mm-hmm. You said cryptocurrency. You posted an article about cryptocurrency credits, climate change credits moving into.
Yeah, it was paywall at Wall Street.
Paywall.
I couldn't really.
WSJ. Yeah. Okay, fuck that shit. All right. How DAOs will transform the customer experience.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting, but I wasn't sure if. Well, pop it up. You'll see. It's a good article.
I'm popping it. Hold on. Let me pop. I've got to get this split screen shit down in this new browser. I probably should have used Firefox today until I figured this shit out. But what are you going to do?
All you Apple boys are usually pretty easy. It's like plug it in and it goes. It's not like you got to like hang out and do some stuff like us Android types. We got to like hack our way into things. You guys, it's like, you and your 97-year-old brethren over there.
Let me show you something. Let me show you what's powering. Hold your little fucking disposable.
Is it his phone? Is it your phone?
Disposable, your big,
laptop?
Your disposable little tiny laptop versus my magnificent 49-inch monitor. There.
Yeah, I see the monitor, but I'm like, what is it being powered by? That's my question.
It's being powered by a MacBook Pro.
Fred Flintstone Apple.
I'm
eating
surprised.
contest.
I'm surprised a boomer like you even understands the difference between a monitor and a computer. So,
That's the monitors where we stick the CD disc into, right? I remember my parents once, God bless them, like 10 years ago, bought a TV that would take the DVD in the side. And I was just like, I'm like, okay, so what happens if the DVD player breaks? Does the TV still work?
Yeah, exactly.
And then everybody's like, well, what?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
But,
All right. So did you actually read this article? Or you just like the headline?
I did start reading it, but then I thought it was pretty interesting about how they're going to use the decentralization for, customer data is what it's really about. The privacy of data. It's not about, like, when I originally pulled it up, I thought, how the fuck customer experience? Like, where's my money kind of call.
Oh, when you're both the customer and the owner. Yeah, this is actually an approach that I think we all kind of knew was underneath. Oh, this is Paul Brody, who I interviewed. This guy's fucking brilliant. He's at EY.
Yeah, and a little bit talk about ZK proofs and stuff, and
so
it's another good thing just to read to catch up on.
And he's look, I think this is something that gets kind of missed in it, right? Is we all kind of are used to DAOs and having a stake in them, but they're right now so focused on building out financial protocols that we haven't thought all the way. This is a great article because we haven't thought all the way through how this impacts other customer-owned and employee-owned models, right? Because now you could eventually, you may be able to do business only with DAOs, right? And then maybe part of your services from that allows you to actually also have a stake in it and earn from yourself and other customers. Well, then what happens, right? Then you get people sharing. So I'll call Joe and say, Joe, I'm getting my cellular service now from, AT&T DAO.
$20.
Yeah. And, I get a referral. I may not get a referral or an affiliate commission anymore. I may just know that my tokens in my DAO ownership of AT&T DAO are going to go up because I'm adding to the customer base and everybody's incentives align, right? So, it's just more infrastructure, more capabilities, more developers, things being able to add more services and features because everyone's funding it. I just think there's definitely a lot of potential, and it's something that people haven't really thought all the way through yet. So that's awesome.
Well, I think it's just like when we talk about, crypto and everything kind of being a sort of it's many things, but, for one little buzzwords, sort of the financial internet, you start realizing that maybe, we've been transitioning sort of old world or old economy companies to new world, new economy companies for, 25 plus years, that maybe those structures, old economy structures, don't make sense.
Right.
Where this world's going, particularly when you throw Web3 on top of everything.
Yep.
And now you start thinking, wait, maybe Web3 is what allows, the new structures to be DAO based. Is that my screen or yours? No, it's mine. Yours. Okay. And it's something that is evolving as we speak. I mean, that's the kind of thing I'm really trying to grapple with now is myself is kind of like, I remember having conversations back in the late 90s about like what came next, or maybe it was 99, 2000 time frame. And lots of opinions, but none of it was where it ended up,
Right.
I mean, the next conversation after that was, me talking to some fiber company in the DC area that's like, we pulled all this fiber and it's only being used 3% capacity. What comes next? Well, YouTube wasn't around yet.
Right.
And, smart iPhones weren't around, no phones, no video calling, there was that bandwidth got gobbled up, but in, ways that nobody ever envisioned. So to me, I think what comes next is going to really be interesting to all of us, just in the way it functions. Particularly the Web3 DAO enterprise and token kind of intersection.
Yeah.
And then how do NFTs play in all of that?
Right.
So
I agree.
Exciting times. I mean, that's why I like these kind of times when, we're looking at the markets and we're kind of at the tail end of, kind of a pretty quiet 6 to 8 week correction, it looks like to me. when you see like highs of BTC to where it is now, just looking at it like that, or ETH to now, but I didn't really feel super painful.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw the alts have been draining like crazy, and I've definitely been feeling that.
Well,
But to
Ohm is
me,
fucking bleeding out.
but when I see stuff like that happen, it makes me think that everybody's gearing up for a top line run of like BTC or something.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
so maybe it's stacking up for that as everybody tries to decide what to do. And why not take profits? 2021 was a good year should have been for everybody. But, depending upon when you came in, when you went out, or if you stuck around, all of that. But, I don't know. To me, I feel like in these sort of like when everybody's waiting for something, that's when the innovation really happens.
Yep.
And it seems to me everybody's waiting for something negative. I don't feel like people are waiting for something really positive, which, might be Omicron could be something positive, ripping through fast or whatever. I mean, there's all these kinds of things that could happen. So, I don't know. That's just my thinking of the way it feels to me right now.
Yep.
I don't know if you share that or if you have a different opinion or something else to add, but please weigh in.
Nah, I don't. I actually don't. I actually don't know what's going to happen, but I definitely feel like action. I feel like there's enough action happening on the side with investors and funds and et cetera that will make a move here soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like and not to go too draconian, because it doesn't feel like that, but that whole like 2001. Of course, a lot of people probably weren't even alive, but the 2001 to like the post.com crash up until say, when it was, everything was dominated by real estate, leading up into the 08 correction, all these companies gathered traction then,
Yeah.
Amazon, Google, Facebook. I mean, they were basically like not really majorly. I mean, Amazon, yeah, but for the most part, they weren't what they are today. There were no smartphones, so I almost feel like we're at that same juncture right now in a mini way, maybe, and that the next explosion is going to be, significant.
Yep, totally agree. Tesla's added Dogecoin payments again, so
that's saw that
exciting news.
They have Shiba or whatever already, right?
I think they had Shiba and then they took away Shiba. I don't know, but we'll be happy that they're taking any crypto.
I mean, it got what that got me thinking about, and something else, and you just pulled it up again. Was that there was a time, like when the corporations ran their own money. The trading companies from European history, etc. They would issue their own coins, their own like tokens, their own money. And when I see things like potentially ways where this banks could have their own token again, or companies can have their their own money, and then how that all works. I mean, I think that opens up a whole nother level of interesting development to me.
Yeah. So. Absolutely. NFT sales show signs of slowing. I mean, I don't think that's big news, but I think we were all kind of aware of that.
Yeah.
But I think some of, last week there were some big mints and sales, and I think that drove people back to thinking it might be coming back. But I think the underlying fundamentals of the NFT marketplace, beyond kind of the biggest players, the CryptoPunks, the Bored Apes, I think all of that is decreasing, and I think that the normal stuff is going to slow down a bit here. I think it'll come back just like any other speculative thing, but I think what we'll see as things roll out further in the future is that the NFT market's going to become less bullshit and more good stuff, right? More art focused, more unique functionality focused. There will be things embedded and built into NFTs that are part of entire ecosystems. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a non-fungible token, right? It just has more capacity than a normal token. So there's all kinds of things that can be done with NFTs. And I think that's what's going to happen. People are going to expect more out of an NFT than just a JPEG of a piece of art. Obviously, we can appreciate that art and being one of a few people to hold it. But at the end of the day, we need, I think what's going to be demanded from a digital play like NFTs are more functionality, more capability, more immersive experiences. There'll be more movies and video games and shit that's tied to them. And I think there's gigantic opportunities in this market, just massive.
Yeah, you just throw NFTs on top of the preceding topic, and Web3, and again, it's just has spectacular potential. To me, I read that article actually, and the whole thing, it came to the end. Most of the NFT sales, they said, showed signs of slowing. Was that Sotheby's and Christie's haven't had any auctions in a couple of months, I guess. So I'm like, really? And then you read through it, and it kind of reminded me of when CryptoKitties came out in 2017, late 2017 timeframe, 2018 maybe early, and there was that big wave, and then everybody lost interest. I kind of feel like with this, it's a little bit different because one, you have the collectible piece that you mentioned, the pretty pictures, and two, most of the people that are just grappling with NFTs don't understand what it can be. That it can be a house, it can be a mortgage. Yep. It can be a bond. Yep. It can be all kinds of different things. And you think about fractionalized ownership of things, all of a sudden the NFT becomes a pretty interesting vehicle for that. And, maybe it's a picture of the house, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just a,
title and deed. Who knows?
Yeah, that's it. So I think that's where I see this space really exploding. And I think the key movements on, in that article that I read, I thought was pretty interesting, was that when Beeple sold that NFT for $39 million, he had never sold anything for more than $100 at that point.
That's incredible.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. But all of the stuff about communities and how do these fit into the metaverse, and other aspects beyond visual pieces. Think about our digital acts and NFT fashion. It's real world goods combined with NFTs and esport skins that you can use in games and things across platforms. I mean, this is the big play too for 2022. So, and then also I read about an OpenSea IPO, I think, being talked about.
Yeah, I hate that shit. Pisses me off.
But get your shit together and get everybody on Polygon, because OpenSea keeps putting everybody on layer one constantly when it dies up there because nobody wants to drop $100 in gas to buy a 30-cent NFT of whatever that they just like.
Well, they have Polygon support. They just default there, and that's the problem, right? So they look, I mean, we've got to start orienting the market. The NFT market has to be oriented to other layer ones or L2s, because it just doesn't scale until Ethereum has its shit together. So
but I think you're right. I think I saw that headline. It was the same thing for me. I thought, oh, this is what we were just talking about yesterday. But then you kind of read it, and it's basically just saying that the last 3 months have been kind of down, and what's happening next.
Yep.
Who knows?
So Zerion has added a multi-chain bridge into their interface, which I found really interesting. It says they're using Mover Network's bridge. I'm not familiar with Mover Network, but I need to check them out. But I mean, this is what you and I have talked about a lot, right? Is look, I mean, here's Zerion, which is a platform that actually allows you to execute some trading, some trading capabilities, some staking capabilities. They limit it. I think they still approve what you can and can't do. I preferred Zerion's interface over Zapper's interface, but I actually prefer DeBank's interface over both of their interfaces and the number of chains they support. In fairness, I haven't been back to Zerion or Zapper in 2 months since I switched to DeBank, so I'll check it out, see what they've got going there. But right now there's swapping built into DeBank, but there is no bridging. There's minimal bridging built into Zapper. So if Zerion makes a really strong move so that they start glossing over the chains and allowing you to cross swap eventually, not just bridge, but cross swap while you're staking in their interface, that's going to be enough for 75% of the people, right, who aren't aping into crazy shit. So even though they're pre-approving the projects they'll allow, because they basically pre-approve by enabling the code, they are moving in the right direction. So we keep seeing more and more of these kinds of moves. We saw the AnySwap or multi-chain they're called now, working with Danielle and working with Andre on seamless bridging on Sushi. So the whole world's moving in the direction you and I have been saying for a year it's going to move in, right? And that is seamless cross-chain. We don't care what the chain is. We just want to execute this trade, or we just want to stake. And I want you to pull what I have, and I'll tell you what you can pull from my wallets and make things happen that I want to have happen. It's complex. It's not as simple as I'm making it sound, but it definitely is good. Now, there is no Phantom in this group, which is interesting, but they do have Ethereum, Polygon, BSC, Arbitrum, Optimism, Avalanche, and Gnosis. So good for Zerion. I always did like their interface better than Zapper's, and I'm going to take a look and see how this functions, and maybe we'll talk about it some more after I go through it. Let's see. Back on Andre's thing, Kamikaze_ETH did an analysis on what Andre is launching and why it's so important. So those of you who would like to check out his Twitter feed, 16 post tweet thread about what Andre's building, gives you a better explanation, and he's expanding on kind of why he thinks it'll be even better than Convex and Curve. So there's that. What else we got? Let me see if there's anything else.
So which one is this that is going to go against Convex and Curve?
This is the V33, Ronde Cranes thing
that
V3. We were talking about earlier. Yeah. So that's all I got, Joe. What you got? Anything else?
I think we kind of pretty much covered everything. What I was just curious about with V33, what is where he is going with this play, Andre? What is, do you think, the play on it? Because he's across so many different platforms.
I think what he's trying to do is do a better version of how Convex and Curve function, and I think there's going to be some kind of mechanism to reward holders even more, and that I think he's trying to leverage into how the Curve Wars function to create the same thing on other chains, and have an alternative for people that he probably has a longer shelf life. Mm-hmm. There is, we'll talk about this tomorrow with Zero, but there is a potential weakness in the Convex Curve play that he's kind of discovered that there's not really an answer to. So we'll talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I assume that Andre is kind of taking all of the existing stuff and trying to make it a little better, cross-chain, starting with Phantom. So, and the first batch of tokens are going to projects. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with everyday schmoes like us, but we'll find out and see.
Oh, here we go, Eamon.
Yeah, it is. I think you're right, Eamon. It's primarily focused on Phantom for the V33. Yeah, I'm wondering if he'll try to leverage something cross-chain with his other cross-chain stuff he's doing with Danielle, but I doubt. I think that would be very complex. So you're probably right. He'll stick to Phantom. That also bodes well, I think, for the entire Phantom blockchain. Back to kind of the undervalued side of it, like, Andre's trying to drive things to it. Something like this is going to be pretty significant, I think. So.
Yeah, no, I was just, it's funny. I was one of, remember those early streamers? My daughter was messaging me at the same time as them. And there was one called like IS Cupquake or something that was like a Minecraft and some other games. Yeah, Roblox, Minecraft, all of that. Well, now she's just putting out crypto gaming videos.
Who?
Her. I'm going to put this up real quick. Forward it to you. But what I thought was interesting is now we're getting a big, it looks like, the start of that crossover from people that were, say, streamer types or broadcast streamers.
Gaming streamer types.
And now they're becoming gaming crypto streamers.
Got it.
But she was one, I was talking to my daughter. My daughter was young and would watch her play. And I'm like, look, the problem with a lot of these streamers is the brand. You get older.
Yeah.
And, you can be 14 and streaming with purple hair, but when you're, become 30, how do you move that brand along the way? And, nobody thinks of that because they're only like, 14, 15, 16. 20 is like, the year 3000, basically.
Right.
But,
NFTs, cryptocurrency. Now, I'm sure you all have heard those terms, and I know they can be kind of scary and deterring for a lot of people, but today, something that I wanted to make a video about, and I think really aligns with all of you who watch me, is crypto gaming. So there is a...
Cool. I love seeing those mainstream folks doing this. That's great.
Yeah. So, she wasn't even, she was just the kids were all latching on. The gamer kids that were like in that 8 to 12. And they would, watch her, she would teach them how to play the game.
Nice.
So now she's unfortunately, I think 30 plus or something like that. But I have seen her kind of changing her image a little bit. So
yeah.
But definitely maybe another wave coming.
Yeah. That's cool.
So, but yeah, no, I don't really have anything else. I just see, again, I don't think this is the time when everything to do with crypto right now, seems to be watching all the regular traditional finance markets.
Oh, Amen made the point real quick on our Phantom stuff. He said, I'm thinking more and more that Phantom is looking good. To run a validator over there, though, it requires substantial computing power. So it's the balance of throughput versus decentralization. Yeah, and I think, Amen, that that they are actually trying to work on that to distribute that some more. I don't know the details on it, but it's certainly something we should investigate. I'd love to get Andre on the show. I don't think I've climbed the ladder high enough in crypto OG personalities to get him yet, but I may reach out to Simone Pomposi, who I have had on the show, have him back on, and maybe also have Andre on with him to talk about Phantom decentralization, Phantom scaling, and this project. So thanks for bringing that topic up, because you made my train of thought go to getting Simone to get Andre on. So thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
So just was saying, when things are going sideways like this, the moves come. I mean, I didn't see the July move coming like that when it happened. I don't know if you saw it at that point, Brad. I didn't see. I mean, everybody saw Pumptober coming because everybody was talking about it forever, and everybody was talking about September. But now I think we're in this area where everybody's kind of waiting, and they're waiting on all the macro stuff. What's the Fed going to do about this or that? And to me, I think that is, while it does affect crypto some, it goes through those markets first. Yeah. So to me, it's the bigger question is, are they going to, how long until traditional investors start moving more asset allocation or diversification over into crypto plays? And how do they allocate that within crypto? To me, that's the more interesting thing. And what does Bitcoin actually get treated like gold? How does that happen with the market going forward? And do real projects, come out of things?
Right.
If the global markets tank, they're going to tank everything. So to me, it's kind of like a thing that I tend to kind of ignore, unless I'm like right on the edge of everything and I'm, levered in too much. Then I'm like in panic mode. But other than that, just whatever.
And so anybody else that has ohm, I was gonna say substantial ohm, but it doesn't matter how much you have, it still hurts. Be aware that there was a mass of liquidations yesterday, like a massive amount of liquidations on people that had leveraged on Rari. And you can look on the Rari dashboard. You can actually watch it happening live. So be aware that this was not people just miscellaneously dumping their tokens. This was people being forced to dump and not having a choice, because everyone leveraged it when it was at $1,000 at 200, 250, never thinking it was going to hit back down to that point again. Well, first of all, I'm not a big fan of big leverage anyway. And secondly, don't think it's not going to drop to that point again. It is very likely that it will drop to that point again. So you just got to be careful about how much leverage you take if you're going to do leverage, and watch it and make sure you have enough dry powder, as Joe likes to say, to bail your ass out before everything gets dumped. So that's what happened yesterday. That's why Ohm is so far down right now. Frankly, to me, my own personal opinion, not investment advice, as is nothing on this show. This is discount time. So if you came in high, is a great way to DCA your price point. I still personally have great faith in the product, in the project, in the team, and in the community that is just killing it. Johnny Mack asks, where can I buy these Ohm liquidations? You can buy them on any DEX, Johnny, or your local discount supermarket, closeout supermarket. They'll have those on the shelf.
They've had a 58% sale going for a while.
Exactly. I think Trader Joe's is going to start carrying them too. So
yeah,
that's it for me today, buddy.
Yeah, me too.
Everybody, if you're in We're Forked or want to be in We're Forked, please get to if you go to missiondefi.com, link to the Discord channel is in there. I will also post a quick blog post with a link to the Google form. But you can join the Discord for Mission DeFi and DeFi Lunch and go in there and get the link from in there. If you want to get into We're Forked, this is it. We're like down to like the last 24 hours here before we get things rolling. And so if you want to participate in the club, please do that. Again, this is not investment advice. This is not a fund. Do not put a penny into this thing unless you can afford to lose it, because we're doing a strategy that we're all going to vote on, and it may or may not work, and so we can't guarantee anybody's investment ever in anything related to crypto, but especially something like this experiment we're doing. That said, we're having a lot of discussions about where we take all this from here, and there could be some expansion of these concepts later on. Wouldn't you say, Joe?
Yeah.
So,
definitely.
Early participants, are early participants.
Yeah.
And so
early bird gets the worm.
Exactly. That's good. That's good. There are no promises, no guarantees, but there may be an expansion of some concepts here. And so if you're planning on participating, please do. But thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this. Thank you for letting people know what we're doing. Please like, subscribe, retweet, rate us, review us. We love you guys. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. See you later, Brad.
Bye, Joe.